Bitcoiners, pre-coiners, no-coiners, and new coiners. Welcome to Swan Lounge, a weekly show in which you get to hang out with the Swan team and some of our friends from the incredibly exciting, it seems like ever increasingly exciting world of Bitcoin. Now, before we dive in, we're doing something that I think is incredibly special. We are giving away Jan Pritzker's book for free in an effort to spread Bitcoin knowledge. You can go right here. No, here, there it is. swanbitcoin.com/free book. We have it in ebook format and audiobook format, read by our friend Guy Swan. We just ask that you share it with some friends and family. Pass it along. Bitcoin is making the world a better place, and you can do your part by sharing this book. And to all the Swan Force members out there, we have set up a way for you to give away the book to help you recruit new Bitcoiners and get paid in the process. Look in your referral dashboard and you will find a link you can use to send people to your Swan Force landing page so that they can get the free book, right there, free book, and you can get the referral credit. And if you are not signed up for Swan Force, come on, what are you doing? Go to swanbitcoin.com/enlist and enlist. It's a great deal. Basically, the way it works is you will earn 25% of Swan's fees on your referrals purchases for 3 years, and your referral will get $10 of free Bitcoin when they become a Swan member, which means they start saving $50 a week or more of Bitcoin and prepay their fees. Also, make sure to watch to the end of the episode because we're doing my favorite segment again, Swan Force Fridays, where we will put our guests on the clock, give them 60 seconds, and ask them to do their best Bitcoin pitch. We actually forgot to do it last week. I'm sorry. We were having too much fun, so maybe we'll do 2 pitches this week. Who knows? Finally, we know that automatic recurring buys are the best and safest way to accumulate Bitcoin, but every now and then you just wanna smash buy. And that's why we have launched instant buys. If you are a customer, you can already do that. For our new customers, we have upped your limits to $600. It's really exciting. We'll probably do some smash buying on the show. Now, before I bring in our guests, one last thing. If you've seen the show before, you know what I'm going to say. And please, you got to do it. Smash that like button. Hit like. Hit subscribe so you get notifications for next time. If you love our show, support the show. This goes a long way to helping us grow on YouTube. And, our goal here is to spread Bitcoin. So let's help us do that. You know what? Before we start, do me one more favor, all right? Text one of your friends or family who's a new coiner, right? Or somebody who texted you this week and said, hey, can you teach me about this Bitcoin thing that you've been doing this whole time? So what you're going to do is you're going to text them the link to watch this episode. And you can watch this episode. You can talk to them about it afterwards. You're going to have a lot of fun. So without any further ado, maybe a little bit of further ado. I like making people wait. All right, a little bit of further ado. It's time for Swan Lounge. Whew. Oh, give me 5 seconds. I need to breathe a little bit. Oh, also, I forgot to unmute my guests, as I always do. I'm not a very nice person in that regard. Wait, Camila, is your mic?
Just kidding.
Oh. Camila was having some sound issues before, so she's messing with me. Not very nice, Camila. Not very nice. We had a call earlier today, and Camila was like, yeah, I'm a nice person. You know what? I don't know.
I promise.
We've got one more guest. Before I bring him in, please bow down and give the appropriate airs to, I forget his full title. What is it? Whatever. I was going to do this whole big spiel with his name and everything. His name, breaker of blue ticks, the buyer of Lambos, the educator of noobs, none other than his royal Bitcoininess, Sir Peter McCormack, King Peter McCormack of Bedford.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
See that blue check's going to his head already.
No. He's doing it the right way, though. He's making fun of the blue checks, which I like. I really like this. Okay. We actually have limited time with Peter, so I want to be respectful of that. But real quick, what this episode is about is I'm calling it Bitcoin around the world. Around the world, people are all looking at the price, but Bitcoin is far more than just the price. So I wanted to bring some people on and get some perspectives from around the world and hear about some cool things that are going on. We've got Bernard Parah from Bitnob. He's coming us from Lagos, Nigeria. They've got 2 Americans up there. We've got Javier, who's joining us later from Venezuela, and Peter, who is in Bedford, I believe, right now. But Peter has an amazing show called Defiant among his many shows. So he has a hugely amazing perspective on what's going on in the world in terms of Bitcoin and things like that. So we wanted to bring him on. Okay, I need to breathe again. I talk too fast. Peter, how are you doing today?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
We're good. It's Bitcoin. It's exciting. It is what it is. What time is it over there? It's late at night, no?
It is 8:45, and Bitcoin's crashed to $39,000.
What?
Crashed.
Wow.
It's fucking dead. You get an echo.
We are. Yeah. All right, guests. I'm sorry to do this, but if you could mute yourselves when you're not talking, that would be great. Much appreciated. So, Peter, you've got about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to say hello? Or
Yeah. 15, 20. Yeah, I'll stick it.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sorry. It's just, I just had an interview before, and I've got my kids, and it's Friday night, and they're like, Dad, you can't work all night. Come on.
We're Bitcoin maximalists, but we're also family maximalists. So we totally get it. Javier. Bienvenido, amigo. Swan Signal. No, not Swan Signal Live. It's been a long week, folks. I'm sorry. I don't even know the name of the show anymore. All right, Javier, we're going to get to you later. We're going to get to Bernard later. Bernard was supposed to go first, but we're going to go with Peter. Peter, can you tell us about something about Bitcoin that has nothing to do with price? Something that you've learned in your journeys around the world, something that excites you, something that might excite the viewers at home. Putting you on the spot.
No, I can't really. If it's not price, it's just fucking boring. Let's be honest. Do you know what? I can tell you something really interesting. I mentioned my kids. I got 2 kids, right? And they obviously know what I do. I have a Bitcoin podcast, and they're not interested in it at all. They just don't give a shit. A little bit, they'll ask you a question. Yesterday, 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, whatever it was, my son said Jake Paul or Logan, whichever one of them has got wants to do a Bitcoin show. I was like, oh, okay. I should try and tweet and be the guy, but I didn't. Anyway, he ends up making the show, and then my son listens to this, and he comes in yesterday, and he's asking all kinds of questions about the size of the blockchain. Does it scale? What's Ethereum? Blah, blah, blah. But I just thought it was really interesting, as the point is, like, obviously I'm not very cool. I'm his dad, and he's got no interest. When the right person starts talking to him about Bitcoin, he's interested. And it's all he's talked about for 2 days now, and he wants a wallet, and he wants to start he wants some of his money paid in Bitcoin. And so I think if you hit the right people, you hit the right audiences, you're going to create interest. I just thought that was really cool. I thought it was really interesting that a younger person was interested at that point. And bear in mind, I've been doing this for 4 years, and he's taken 0 interest.
It is the dad effect, I mean, I'm at that point now where I'm getting more friendly with my dad again. We can be friends again. But when you're growing up, your dad's your dad, and if they tell you to do something, you do the opposite. So maybe you should have told your kids to look at Ethereum, and then everything would have been great.
I think they're thinking, well, whatever, Dad, you're going to be dead in 20 years. We're going to have your Bitcoin anyway. So
No.
No, man, you're gonna live to be at least 300 years old. With all your Bitcoin, you're going to buy all that life extension stuff that's coming out.
Get some teenage blood into me.
That's scary. Scary, right? Scary thought.
It's like that episode of Silicon Valley.
Get a blood boy.
Yeah.
Can I just say what's up to my buddy Javier? How you doing, man? Javier, are you even listening? Is he frozen?
He might be frozen.
Yeah, he's not moving.
Oh, no, there he is.
Ah, there he is.
Come on. There he is.
Maybe there's a delay. Javier, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we can't hear you. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I just want to say something, my brother.
Yes. I have connection issues because I'm in Venezuela. Peter can relate.
I
He was here, so he knows that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. Behind there, though, he has got
shit.
a big bar. He's got a stripper pole, lots of champagne.
Ooh.
That's the highlight over there.
Just to hammer the point home. Screw you, Maduro.
Yeah, you motherfucker. How you doing, Brecky?
I'm good. I'm doing really good actually. We just we argued with some nano shills on Twitter, which was always fun.
Man.
Who
are the worst?
Say again?
Who are the worst? I don't worry about the Bitcoin Cash because they don't really say much anymore. The BSV ones are just dumb. It's like the Hex or the Nano or the Ripple, because the Ripple ones have come back. Like, who's the worst? Who do you think's the worst?
Well, I mean,
Ripple.
define worse though. Like, the only thing that really worries me is if they're getting to people and convincing people to buy into these scams. You know, that's what really.
Well, they're all convincing something. But who do you want to punch in the face most?
Nobody. I'm not a violent person. Right?
All right. Okay. Who would you wish would shut up the most?
Peter Schiff, hands down, every day. It's my new mission to get him to stop. I'm over.
I think he's promoting Bitcoin though. I think he's promoting it.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that too.
Yeah.
Now he's got his son who's just, he can play off of.
Yeah.
And he's pumping his bags, man. He's just slowly converting anybody who he's getting to buy gold on his at his business. He's just slowly converting those proceeds into Bitcoin, and he's just gonna have a last laugh, man.
Yeah, but he's scamming people then. You know that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Hell yeah.
intellectually dishonest.
Yeah.
Screw that. I don't like that. But anyway, what can we do?
I mean, it's the corn. The corn makes us do bad things, Bricky.
Look, okay. I could be making a lot more money working on Wall Street or being like a creative director for some like brand that I don't believe in, and I could be plowing that into corn. Okay, so it doesn't make not that I'm an angel, but it doesn't make.
I'm kidding, buddy.
Things.
I'm kidding, buddy. I'm kidding. It makes us only do. It brings out the best angels within each of us.
I hope so.
It's gonna fix the world, man. It's gonna fix all of us individually.
Speaking of, I have renewed faith in the world because of Bitcoin, but also because of Clubhouse. So I want to do a quick shout out to Clubhouse. It is an incredible platform. That's how I linked up with Bernard. And every day it's like there's new people who are excited about Bitcoin and they're learning. And there's so many Bitcoiners who are just there to kind of spread the good word and teach people not to go all in on Nano and XRP. So if you're looking for an invite, I don't think I have any left, but hit us up. We'll be able to find you one. It's a really amazing platform. I just wanted to quickly talk about that. Now, Bitcoin. Why do we love Bitcoin? You know, there's a lot of reasons. On this episode, though, I kind of wanted to focus on one reason, and that's the people. You know, even on this episode are people who I've met only one of them in person, Peter, and everyone else I consider friends. Bernard, we just got to know each other, but we're going to be good friends. I can already see it. And Javier, I've known for like 2 years now, and I feel like there are Bitcoiners now in every single country where if I really needed a couch to sleep on, like they would let me, you know? And I really love this aspect of Bitcoin, that it's a truly global movement. And there are people who are having the same, what's the word? Like epiphanies that we have, no matter where you are, everyone is coming to the same conclusions. You know, it's this universal truth. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring together some people from all over the place and hear their stories. And that's what I'm excited about right now, in addition to price. Peter, we've got you. So we're gonna use you while we got you. Tell us some more. Tell us some more stories. What didn't make it into Defiant that you can share with us? We're putting you on the
Into
spot.
Defiance.
Yeah, or give us some what's something fun from your time in Bitcoin, from meeting Bitcoiners all over the world that
Venezuela. Venezuela is my favorite trip I've ever been on, without fucking doubt. Yeah, went out to Venezuela, absolutely loved it. It was amazing, really cool people. It was a real experience to actually, where you actually saw why you need something like Bitcoin. And at the same time, I don't think Bitcoin is particularly useful for a lot of Venezuelans right now. I think Strike is, what Jack Mallers has done, would fucking crush it for them. But at the time I was there, it's useful for someone like Javier, you know, he's got a good job, he understands Bitcoin, you know, he can hold Bitcoin and convert into the bolivars when he needs it. But for most people, who is certainly those living out in the barrios, like who, and correct me if I'm wrong here at any point, Javier, but like if you're living on $5 a month, and you've got to have physical cash, Bitcoin is no use for you because of the transaction cost. And also, you know, you have to have your change in the local money. But like I say, if you've got Strike by Jack Mallers and you can have your denomination on the app, so you can have the decimal, I think it changes the game for them there as well. But that experience, because you saw a lot of the impacts of what both Maduro and Chavez has done, from getting to the airport, there's no soap in the bathroom, which I just found unusual as someone who's flying around the world. Got to the hotel, and the bottles of beer we got were just really strangely small. Not the ones Javier gave me. I got a proper beer from him. Going to the restaurants, right? And in the restaurants, the price list was a sticker, because they might be changing that the next day. So they can't just keep reprinting them. Just everything that you heard about with inflation that you'd never seen because you're just a fortunate fuck who lives in the UK or the US and you're a bit more privileged. I saw it all in person. But at the same time, it's just a beautiful country with some amazing food and amazing people. And I made a new friend.
I love it. Javier, I wanted to do Bernard's story, but I think maybe this is a good point. Javier, what's it like being a Venezuelan Bitcoiner? Someone who's a privileged asshole like myself living in the United States. Like, what is it really like, from your perspective, and how are you using Bitcoin? And I'd love for you to also tell the story of Satoshi in Venezuela and some of the work that you're doing down there. And now we'll wait 5 seconds for it to catch up, but we'll get there. Oh no. Yes, that's the unfortunate reality of what it's like being a Venezuelan Bitcoiner. Javier, we will. Oh, wait, you're back. Javier, did you catch that or no? Nope. All right, we'll come back to Javier. Ladies and gents, that was Javier. He'll be back hopefully soon.
Right, listen, I'm going to have to shoot.
Yeah.
I just want to say peace out. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Good to see you all. Hopefully I'll catch up soon. But sorry, man. I'm just need to go and give my kids some time. Love you all.
Go have fun with the kids, bro.
All right, later, dudes.
Bye, Peter.
Thanks for joining. Hey, to the folks at home, I wanted to do something real quick before I get into Bernard's story. Don't dox yourselves. Don't reveal your locations. But I'm curious, if you don't mind saying in the chat, like, say what country you're from. I'd love to see where all the Bitcoiners are at, and I think that would just be kind of cool. Now, could somebody mute? Sorry, there's if you could all mute real quick. It's it actually could be my fault. But anyway, the Clubhouse app that we were talking about before. I'd heard of Bernard, maybe on Tales from the Crypt, I'm not sure where. So I recognized his name, and I was like, oh, we got to get him on the show. And, it's amazing in that app how people connect. And so, Bernard, I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to read some things that you've written because I did a little research on you, and I went to your blog, and I was really moved by what you're writing. I'm going to share some of that, and then I'd love for you to kind of tell your story and talk about BitNob. And some of the work you're doing down in Lagos as well. So there was something on your blog that I was like, I read the title and I was like, what in the world is this guy thinking? Please, please, please. I hope he doesn't believe this. And the title is Born African Because You Were Bad in Your Former Life. And I'm going to ruin the article. That's not what Bernard believes at all, but it was a bit of a clickbaity thing. But it's a really beautiful article, Bernard, and it gave me all the feels. So I'm going to read some excerpts from it because, the price may be going up for Bitcoin, but for some people in the world, life is not all that great. Bernard wrote, I know we sometimes feel like life sucks. I felt that way many times until I started living a life of gratitude. A life of gratitude always gives you something to be thankful for. And believe me, there is always something to be grateful for if we look well. So please, things are hard, but let us all pause and start from a place of gratitude. Then build on that. Let us be intentional in being thankful. Even when bad things happen to us, we should be thankful for the lessons learned. I know it's hard. Living a life of gratitude reminds us of the positive things in our lives. It keeps us focused on what is important. It is from a place of gratitude that you begin to see the blessings and beauty of where you come from, the beauty of family and friends. It is from a place of gratitude that you look back at when you made local toys because your parents couldn't afford to buy you one, even though back then you envied those whose parents could buy them toys. And then this is not the whole article, but there was a quote from Eckhart Tolle, which I love, is, if the only prayer you said in your whole life was thank you, that would suffice. And that wasn't really about Bitcoin, but it really kind of gave me a window into your soul, Bernard, and I was tearing up a little bit. So Yes, exactly, Brady. And then I went to one of your Bitcoin articles because I wanted to see what you were all about. And I won't go too much into it, but you wrote, Bitcoiners understand the importance of taking the control of money out of the hands of a few, that people should have the freedom to choose whatever money they want to use, and the freedom to participate in commerce with whoever one wishes to, regardless of their location. So, holy hell, Bernard, you're an amazing Bitcoiner, so I do hope we can become better friends. To anyone who's watching, Bernard is a criminally underfollowed Bitcoiner. I'm going to put his info up on the screen. Yeah, I'm embarrassing you. Sorry, buddy. Bernard Parah, founder of check out his website, bernardparah.com, and follow him on Twitter. He just put something out from MyZ's that I retweeted. MyZ's, maybe? I can't remember. But putting out some great stuff. So worth the follow. Bernard, now that I'm done embarrassing you, I'm going to eat my lunch. And can you tell us your Bitcoin story?
Thank you. So my name is Bernard Parah, founder and CEO of bidnup.com, a Nigerian-based Bitcoin exchange. So basically, I don't like to think about it as I don't like to, talk about it as an exchange, but a Bitcoin savings platform where we encourage, people to save using the dollar cost averaging approach. So yeah, how did I get into Bitcoin? I went to school in Ghana, so I'm originally from Nigeria, but I studied in Ghana since 2013, and I discovered Bitcoin. So randomly, just a couple of classmates were talking about it, and one of them kind of trades Bitcoin, and I was like, okay, dude, what's up with this and all of that, and he said something, but it wasn't serious. I didn't really take it seriously then, and then so I wanted to get into cybersecurity and all of that. So then I discovered, okay, there's the dark web, and then found a lot of stories about Bitcoin and all. And it was interesting. It was interesting in the sense that, so I've done things like Liberty Reserve before and all of that. And it was interesting in the sense that, hey, look, this is some sort of internet money that, can work out of the control of banks, outside the control of banks and the government, right? And for someone who has interest in cybersecurity and all of that, they're thinking like some sort of a hacker type, like, yeah, against authorities and all of that. So it was just cool. And I started looking and it seemed interesting. And I asked this guy, and I was like, dude, how do I get this thing? So, he just got some and I started selling. So what I was doing was I started doing what he was doing, basically like a brokerage. So yeah, I got Bitcoin for sale on campus. Who is buying Bitcoin for whatever? And then from there, I went on taking it easy. So the time Bitcoin really made a lot of more sense to me because I was just like a trader then. Yeah, I was like a broker. Buy some Bitcoin, put some premium on it, sell it, do it again. Basically, it was Then 2016. December of 2015, going into 2016, the Nigerian government basically said they issued a directive that you couldn't use your Naira-denominated ATM cards, debit cards, to withdraw money outside of the country. So I had my school fees in the bank, in my bank account, but I couldn't withdraw, to take it. So Bitcoin worked there, right? Got a couple of friends in Lagos who knew about Bitcoin and all of that, and they sent Bitcoin to me. Same day, I was able to just, change it into, the local currency, settle everything. And I was, okay, no, look, this is my money in the bank account, but I can't even use it. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? But this is Bitcoin. Someone was just able to send Bitcoin to me from Lagos, and I was able to sell it right there in Ghana. Same day, got my cash. And I started thinking deeper about it. I'm like, look, dude, this is bigger than it is, right? This is bigger than just something that we think criminals use, right? Because I used to think that, look, man, it's just guys that want to do bad things on the internet that just use it. And truthfully, in those early days, it was mostly guys that are just doing stuff online that just want to buy Bitcoin and do whatever they want to do online with it. But it changed. I'm like, okay, look, this has use cases. This has legitimate use cases. It's not just something that you make money off. It's something that is actually useful. So I started digging deeper, and I'm like, look, I'm going to study this thing and see how it goes. Then, I started looking up blockchain development and all of that, and it's like, hey, look, very soon the world will need blockchain developers and all of that. And I was studying computer science. I was really good with coding back then, so I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to position myself to learn this and be one of the best when this blows up, right? And then I'm going to study it. So I started reading, a lot of economics around Bitcoin, followed Andres, watched, I think, almost all of his videos out of them. And one particular one that caught me was the one he presented to the Canadian Senate. And it was compelling. If you watch that, it was really compelling. It just makes sense that, look, Bitcoin is inevitable that Bitcoin will take over someday. So so I started, talking to people about Bitcoin. Before, I wasn't really encouraging people to buy Bitcoin. Like, dude, look, get this, and this is going to peak someday, right? Get it. And, I even got a nickname from my classmates back then because I was always talking about Bitcoin on my WhatsApp status in class groups, and they're calling me Baba Bitcoin. So it was really, So basically, I kind of started just making everything in my life, around Bitcoin, just studying more, digging deeper. 2017, I did a lot of shit coining and all of that, and got burned, made some good things, but in 2017, I kind of launched a first version of BitNup, which was just like a simple brokerage. Hey, come, pay money using mobile money, and we'll get Bitcoins and then send them to you. Because I was doing a lot of it offline, right? And it was really risky. So I have this special story where I needed to get $30,000 worth of Bitcoin for someone, right? And the person I was going to get it from only wanted the money in cash. So there I was with $30,000 cash in Ghanaian currency in a bag, moving around Accra just to get that guy, right? Met him. I had never met that guy before offline. I just met him online, right? So this was very risky. And when I met this guy, he was in a music studio. I went there, he was with his guys, everyone was just blazing. I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, what if this guy just snapped me? And but he was a cool guy. He was a Bitcoiner. The guy traveled to Brazil and a couple of places. And he was genuine. We dealt. And so I kind of built a lot of network, doing a lot of OTC back then. And I started to take it live sometime in November of 2017. Did it offline, did it online for a while. Because I was freelancing, it wasn't like my full-time job and stuff. So I was doing on and off. We did a couple of seminars as well, talking to people about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general back then, just basically trying to get people on board. So now I'm going into 2018, the bear market. A lot of people that were talking about crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, they're like, blockchain, not Bitcoin, the corporate and all of that. During the bear market, everyone kind of just disappeared. Carlos Maltos, everyone just, went off the radar, right? So for me, I felt, okay, this is still a time to really dig into deep, because if you don't really understand what this is, that was a time that could have shaken your conviction. You would have just said, oh, look, man, this is just a part. Like, let's move on to other things. But you look at the quality of people that are working on Bitcoin projects, you look at how the whole space is going, and then you think about it, no, if this really smart people around the world are still working on this, then no, I can't leave this, right? And then it could fail. But then what if it works, right? What if it works? If it fails, we know we've tried something, but then what if it works? And I'm like, look, dude, I'm not going to sit down and then watch people change the world without me doing something about it. I'm going to do something about it. So kind of just, started digging deeper. Reading more Austrian economics, Ludwig von Mises, Karl Menger, all of these guys, Hayek. And it was when you now understand money from, an economics point of view, then Bitcoin just makes sense. Like, you get to a light bulb moment and you look like, no, this is bigger than it is. This is bigger than people think it is. It is much more than just price. It is life changing, right? And Bitcoin became like a religion and all of that. So I was really digging deeper into it, talking to people. I'm like, dude, look, it's just $10, right? Put it in. Like, if you lose it, it's fine. It's just $10. But then, when people put it and then it works, and it's so fun seeing people doing it. And I made a lot of friends on Twitter, Bitcoin Twitter, and the materials they share. Then, sometime in 2019, podcasts became really more popular, and you have Bitcoin podcasts, like especially Stefan's podcast. It was like, that's one of the places I run to learn a lot about Australian economics, get what is happening around the world. Because you said something earlier about Bitcoin. So we have this same epiphany about Bitcoin all around the world, regardless of where you are. Same thing. We kind of read the same material, follow the same set of people and all of that. But then the realities on ground are a bit different for all of us, right? So it just made sense. Look, dude, you got to do this. You got to do this. And then, yeah. So earlier this year, I felt like I've been freelancing and doing bidding up part-time. Let me just do this once and for all, full-time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to blow it. And then I started building it. And then, yeah. Where we are today.
that when you have that realization and you're just like, I got to do this. I got to work in Bitcoin full time. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I have to do it. It's a great.
Yeah.
It's scary too because you're just like, how the hell do I start working in this industry that isn't really like what is this thing? So I'm with you, man. Are you is it just you on the BitNob team, or you have some other developers too, or are you solo? Oh, we may have lost you.
Hey, sorry, I lost you for a bit.
No worries. Is it just you on the BitNob team, or you have others?
No, it's not just me. We have others. I have my CTO and other co-founders as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
So these are guys that we've been building stuff together, and then we just decided that, look, let's do this. So we've built a couple of platforms for crypto platforms and trading bots and all of those. And I was like, look, guy, we know how to do this. Let's build our own, right? So I did a blockchain developer program with Consensus Studios. Then most recently, I did something with Chain Code as well. So just like, look, let's just get into this. That's how it's been.
Heck yeah. So I was looking at BitNob, and I get why we're all vibing. Because BitNob is basically like the Swan of Nigeria.
It is
dollar cost averaging. Like you guys were.
Wait,
like,
I think Swan is the BitNob of America.
There you go.
BitNob was around first.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah.
Oh, all right, Camila. You think you can follow that up or no?
Honestly, he made me cry on camera. So it's just what I really love about this, and I was talking to Brecky about this before we got on the show, but what I really love is that we need to get other perspectives from what's going on in different areas of the world, because Bitcoin is not just America. Bitcoin is a global thing that's affecting every single person. So I love that we're getting a perspective from Nigeria. I love that we're going to get a perspective from Venezuela. Maybe later on, I'll be able to give a little bit of perspective of Colombia, because I was born in Colombia and I have a lot of family over there. So yes, just wanted to throw that out there and let Javier speak.
All right, Camila's going to recover a little bit, and Javier is going to step in. Javier, I don't know if you remember what we were saying before, but
I had to move. I had to move next to my connection because today I have the worst of the connections in Venezuela. And I listened a little Peter before he left that he said that Venezuela is a really cool country. Yes, we are a really cool country. We are really cool people, but we are facing the worst social, economic moment in our history. I think that, as he said, maybe I can use Bitcoin, I can talk with you guys, be with the Swans and many stuff, but the average Venezuelan don't have the time to learn about what the hell is Bitcoin. They need money, they need food, There are people that are struggling to have some food. So always when I've been invited to talk about Bitcoin, I like to I don't know, to name these things because yes, it is really brighter to us. It is really useful. Bitcoin. I mean, I live through Bitcoin, but I'm a rara avis here. I'm one in a million. You know, the key point of Satoshi in Venezuela, the project that I don't know, I built because of Brecky and many other friends, is to educate people to take advantage of this technology, because you will not be rich, you will not be in the power, I mean in political power, you won't hold the presidency of the country, but it won't make any sense to you to be involved in the political disaster around. And as you learn about what Bitcoin is and you fell down the rabbit hole and you understand the Austrian and you read the people that he recently mentioned it, like Menger or all the Austrians, and you read Seifedin, you talk with Stefan, you know, you could start to understand why the country is so fucked. Like the money printing goes really ultra brr here. So we had the printing of the printers. I don't know how to say the bigger of the printing money here. That destruction cost has a human cost. That destruction have a social cost, a cultural cost. Where we have been a country that received many people, and now we are a migrant people. We are a diaspora, kind of 6 million Venezuelans are away of the country. And these are things that we need to remember each time we talk about Bitcoin and Venezuela that we are facing. But I'm really lucky because of Bitcoin and because I'm not part of the worst guys in this country. But we need to remember that there are people suffering that are that I hope, I really hope. I'm kind of optimist in all the stuff, and I hope that many other people could find this tool and take advantage, use it, learn about it, and maybe as we are speaking about that tool that led you to the freedom, we could learn to value again what freedom is. And yeah, that's it, my friends. Thanks for having me here.
Camila, I was trying
Beautiful, bro.
okay,
Damn.
trying to let you go before Javier because it would be even more difficult to go after Javier.
Well, what's funny is what Javier said, it's like when you listen to it, you're like, yeah, that's pretty bad. But we actually have the chance to go to these countries and see what's going on. It's completely heartbreaking. For example, like when he's saying that a lot of people have emigrated from Venezuela, a lot of them have come to Colombia. And it's like, I wish that Colombia would have been at a point where it's like we could have helped everyone. But there's so much poverty in Colombia also that it's just so sad to see that these people are leaving their own country and then they can't get help, you know? So after listening to all of this, I've kind of been on the journey this week of figuring out, like, especially with my family, since my family are Spanish speakers, it's how can we get the best resources in Spanish to educate these countries? Like, we're super fortunate here in the United States to have so many resources, especially since it all started out in English. But it's like, how can we do more with including all these other countries? Because I do feel like there's a language barrier in all of this when it comes to the understanding of all of it. Also, something really cool is the book that we have, free on Swan. Jan was actually able to give it to me in Spanish, and I was able to share that with my family. And I know that that's like a very awesome abduction piece of Bitcoin that people can have. So the fact that we have these, I feel like we just need to spread it out even more because, like I said, it's not only the impact here in America or in Europe, but in these countries that need this more than ever, pretty much. So
100%. If anybody's watching and you'd like a copy of Jan's book in another language, hit us up. If we have it, I'm sure Jan is happy to give it away, and we're happy to make it happen. So please get in touch with us, and we will make that happen. Oh man, okay. Let's do a quick swan chill. I'm supposed to do that. The big boss is yelling at me from California. Swan Bitcoin, the best place to automatically buy Bitcoin from your bank account in the U.S., all 50 states, including Puerto Rico and Guam and all the fun places. Go to swanbitcoin.com. Also, said it in the beginning, but sign up for Swan Force. You don't even have to be a Swan customer to sign up for Swan Force. Anyone can do it, whether you're in Lagos or Venezuela or Colombia or I think almost any country. So hit us up. It is swanbitcoin.com/enlist. All right. I'm out of breath again. I got to learn how to talk.
So wait a second. So Bernard, Bitnob, is Bitnob Nigeria only? Are you in other countries in West Africa?
Yeah, we should be in Ghana next month.
Sweet.
Ghana next month, yeah.
All right. So if you're in Nigeria, go and set up a Bitnob account, bitnob.com. And Ghana, that's exciting, man. Congratulations on the expansion.
Thank you.
yeah, that's amazing. That's so amazing.
It's really exciting. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I have a quick question. At the bottom of the Bitnob homepage, it says designed with love and dodo. What is dodo?
Yeah.
Plantain.
What is it?
Plantain.
Passion.
Like,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's Dodo, the local language, the local dialect.
I love that.
Yeah.
When you see a product and there's like something that's really like heartfelt and like you could tell that the developers are a part of it, you know?
Yeah. It's our baby.
I have a question for Bernard. Is there a story behind the painting that's behind you?
Yeah, so okay, it's a bit emotional, but yeah, so I'm the firstborn. I have 4 more brothers. We're all boys. So my younger brother, the one after me, painted this, and
Wow.
the story behind it was so when our mom was pregnant with the third baby. There was a time she went to the hospital. On the day she was giving birth to him, we were kind of waiting. So it was just the 2 of us at home, just waiting. Like we were just, and so something happened. I stepped out to go and just see if they're coming back or not. Then I saw a woman coming back, just walking back. She was pregnant. She was walking from afar. So I thought it was our mom. And I came and I went to pick up my younger brother, and I'm like, "Yay, mommy is coming back. She was not giving birth or something like that." And I just picked him. We went out. So we started walking towards the woman. When we got closer to the woman, it was our mom. And as kids, we didn't even think about it. If she gives birth, she's not coming back that same day, right? She'll be coming back maybe the next day, and they'll bring her in a car or something. But it wasn't there. We didn't even think about it. We just thought she was the one. So we went and we got close to the woman. We discovered it wasn't her. So we both started crying, and I just backed my younger brother, and we just went home. And it was so my younger brother just kind of now 2 years ago or 3 years ago, he just kind of just painted it. So he's a painter in his free time. So
Very talented, man.
Yeah.
Man, so I mean, obviously you and your family are really tight. I mean, Bitcoin's gotta mean a lot to you and your family, right? Like this is kind of like life-changing stuff for a lot of us, and I'm sure for you and your family too.
Are you?
Yeah, it is.
Or not? Like I think my family doesn't think I'm crazy anymore. Do they think you're crazy or no?
They used to. So this is something interesting, right? So some of them used to think like, okay, this guy is crazy. What is he saying? Like, why did you just wake up? And so a lot of times when I wake up in the morning, I start posting my thoughts on Bitcoin on my WhatsApp thread, right? I just make a WhatsApp thread and just start talking about Bitcoin. And a lot of times I try to fuse it with other concepts. So today I'm talking about the Cantillon effect. More I'm talking about asymmetric bets and all of that, and then relating it to Bitcoin, right? Some people feel like, look, man, this guy is just chilling. But the good thing is, I'm never really chilling, right? I'm doing more of education. The hurtful thing was some people, because of so the the stereotype that Bitcoin was used for bad things, basically see you like some sort of an online scammer or a criminal or those kind of things, right? So that was part of the misconception. But then, as of now, like people are like realizing. I mean, late last year, my dad gave me a phone number of a couple of his friends, and he's like, "Hey, I told my friends they are into Bitcoin, and they want to talk to them about Bitcoin. Hey, call them, talk to them about Bitcoin, right?" And then what I did was, yeah, so he's really happy right now. He's really into Bitcoin. My mom too is in. Why? Because so for the past 2 years, my mom was like, "Is this Bitcoin you're just gonna do? Hey, job, do this like." Oh, it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Like, I'm always with the Bitcoin t-shirt or talking about Bitcoin. She's like, is the Bitcoin your job? What is it? I want to understand. No, it's just like, yes. So something interesting. Let me tell you something interesting about Bitcoin and something that it's doing for me right now. My dad just retired 2 years ago. He was enough civil servant. He retired 2 years ago, and ideally after retirement, you should get your benefits. You start getting your benefits say 3 months after your retirement, right? But this is something that took over a year, since 2018 until sometime like May, June last year, right? So when the money came, he had things that he was going to do and everything, and having 4 younger brothers and having to also help with the family and all of that, I figured, I'm like, look, dude, okay, this money, there's something we're going to do with it, right? We're not going to just use it just like that. And the first rule is you're not going to keep it in Naira. We're going to move it into dollars and Bitcoin. It's like, what if Bitcoin crashes and all of that? And I was like, don't worry, I'll handle everything, right? I'll take care of whatever happens. I'll handle it. I'll take responsibility, right? So now when you look at inflation, just last year alone, the Naira lost close to 30% of its value against the US dollar, right? So now think about it. You've got money you've been working for all your life, saving for your retirement. By the time you're going to use it, it has lost so much value, right? Like, it's like you've worked for nothing. You literally worked for nothing. Yeah.
So true, man.
Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, we might be able to fix this, right? I need the kids' school fees. I need some of it. Give it to me. I'll handle this for you. Move this into Bitcoin, right? So, of course, the story is today, it's like, yeah, your Bitcoin price, if you downloaded BitNob the other day and you're like, oh, okay, so I'm looking at the price here, and so right now, he's like, okay, this works. And like, yeah. Yeah, so this is something that you've kind of fixed. So I can say we're lucky that Bitcoin has maybe appreciated so much in such a short time, right? But then it's like the bet has paid off, right? You've been able to recover all those years that you've worked hard and all of that. So it brings me to the premise where you say, I once saw a comment on Reddit, I think 2016, 2017, where someone said, people in Africa, they're struggling to live on $2 a day. They wouldn't even have time for Bitcoin and all of that. But it's not always about price. There's freedom. There's a lot of things, and the paper I shared from Ludwig van Mises on liberty and property just basically it just outlines something saying that at the end of the day, for an enterprise to become really big, right, it has to serve the need of the masses, right? It has to produce for the masses. The masses need to want it. They have to see a use for it. right? So now you need to get to a place where the masses see a use for Bitcoin. Now, this is someone that is really online, an old man, really online, doesn't think about all this, your internet stuff, but then he is getting it, right? And you think about it, no, this is not just for us alone. This is for everyone. Let everyone be able to hear the good news of Bitcoin and decide if they want to try it or not, right? If they try it and it helps, good. If it doesn't, yeah, you can say, okay, shit happens or something like that. But I'm positive that in the long run, yeah, Bitcoin always, comes up, always wins in the long run. Yeah. So, and look at it, government, people are like at all-time low, trust in government, right? Trust in government is at an all-time low. And talking about the protest, for example, in Nigeria, where a lot of people's bank accounts were frozen because they donated to the protest and all of that, and they discovered Bitcoin. Now, if you had told me a couple of years ago that censorship resistance is one of the things that we're going to need for Bitcoin right now, we might not. I would have laughed at you, right? I would have said, okay, censorship resistance for maybe people in other countries, not us. But then here we are today. Censorship resistance is one of those things. So yeah,
It's
some interesting thing.
we live in, and even in the U.S., we're blessed with a lot of things in the U.S. I'm seeing things I never thought I would ever see, and that's why we Bitcoin, So
Yeah.
promote freedom and choice and the ability to choose your money. So
Exactly. Yes, that is a fundamental right.
Bernard, 2 questions. One, are your parents using BitNob? Because I only finally got my parents to start using it. And 2,
My daddy.
he is? Okay, good. And 2, I think we should do a merch swap. I want some BitNob merch, and we'll send you some Swan merch. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's work on that. Let's make that happen. Yeah, let's make that happen.
We'll talk about it.
If I can jump into the family thing. So, Bernard, I haven't really told you my story, but I have not been in the space for a really long time. I'm a complete noob. I have just gotten into the space, like meeting people, because I'm just so passionate about learning about Bitcoin. And although I know I'm not one where it's like at a high level or where I feel comfortable, where I can like really speak to a lot of people, I have been talking to my family a lot about it. And just yesterday, I was in this really long conversation with my mom because she was like, I had told her that I started in this whole space when I was there in the holidays. And yesterday she was like, can we just get on a call because I want you to set me up on Swan? And wow. I was like, yes, absolutely. I'm going to set you up. And she was like, well, if the price goes down, that doesn't mean I'm going to lose my Bitcoin, right? And I was like, no, like your Bitcoin is your Bitcoin. Like the way I could explain it to her for her to actually understand was like as if you're buying digital real estate. I don't know if that was the best way to explain it, but she got it. She was like, okay, like if I buy this, it's mine, and no one's gonna take it from me. She actually ended up buying a lot as her first initial, and then she set up a plan. And what was so interesting about it was that she was on speaker. My sister was next to her. My sister is 20 years old, and when it comes to like financial education, she hasn't been really interested about it. And so she was just like listening in, and then she was like, oh, I want to get an account too. And then I get a text from my other sister later that night, and she was like, I want to do Bitcoin. She's like, are you busy tomorrow? Because I want to do Bitcoin. I don't even know if she completely understands. She's 19. And so it's like, I guess my message is you don't have to be an expert when it comes to Bitcoin in order to show Bitcoin and to like make people see what is going on. I don't know all of the technical terms. I am completely new to this, but I feel like when you're so passionate about it and when you believe it and you talk to people about it, there has to be something in them that's like, okay, something's going on here. Maybe I should listen. Maybe I'm just one of those blessed people that I talk to my family. They're like, yeah, let's do it. But
Yeah.
even if you're a new person, you can still give so much value to people by taking them to the proper resources, the proper tools that will help educate them, for them to understand what it is, and for them to see that this is the way. And that's it. Especially for minorities. Like, I was listening on, I think it was on Clubhouse, of the Black Bitcoin billionaires. It's like a group that's something like that. And they started talking today about the levels of poverty here in America when it comes to the different communities, and how there's so much racial, I don't know how to put it in words, but basically Latinos and Blacks in this country are not getting that wealth that whites are. Okay, and that's been known for a really long time. And someone in there said, like, we need to tell our communities, especially the minorities, that this is a way for them to get that power back. You know, like, get that financial wealth and power back into your hands by only buying reoccurring, doing reoccurring buys and stacking little by little. That maybe the price of Bitcoin right now really scares people off, but it's like educating them that no, you don't have to have $40,000 in order to get in. Like, you can start putting little by little into Bitcoin, stacking sats, and you're going to be able to get that wealth back. And it's like you said, your dad retiring and him basically working for nothing, like that needs to stop, especially in minorities, because that's slavery right there still. It's like a certain type of slavery that we have the opportunity to educate people on, and to be like, look, even if it's just $5, you can start making a difference in educating yourself with stacking sats with $5 and figuring out what you need to do in order to create that generational wealth that is possible with Bitcoin.
This was
amazing story.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have your next advisor do that. Camila, you did an amazing job communicating the ideas and all that. But when Max does it in a rant, oh man.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but it's true. It's time theft, and it disproportionately affects minorities, but it affects everyone. And unless you're close to the money spigot, you're getting screwed. So this is another reason why we Bitcoin.
Yeah. I'd like to add something. She raised a very important point when talking to newbies, right? So for a lot of Bitcoiners, what I think we need to do is there needs to be a lot of empathy and patience, right? So the fact that you've done a lot of research, you understand all these terms, and you should be patient enough to break it down to them, right? So you should have a lot of analogies. If you're talking about inflation and then you start talking about, you don't give a damn about inflation. What if you so for example, the way I explained inflation to my mom was basically using food prices. Like, hey, look, get this in bulk right now. The price might be days in 3 months' time. And then when it happens, I say, okay, yeah, that's inflation. That is easy. She now understands the value of, buying in bulk or all of that, right? So you can, using those kind of analogies, you can explain the concept of things like savings, low time preference for them without actually having to use those terms. So you need to be patient with them, and you need to have empathy that the way you are passionate about Bitcoin, it's okay for them not to be passionate about it, right? So right now, I might not be passionate about, using Visa to make an online payment, right? But there's someone really passionate about it. They know that space in depth, right? For me, I just want to swipe my card and make a payment, and then it goes through. So it's the same thing for Bitcoin. For a lot of people, they don't really care what happens. They just want to know, okay, how do I get this easily? How do I profit from this? How do I make use of this? Like, for a lot of people, some people, it's just about trading. How can I move money here? So this Bitcoin thing, I can use it to move money to Ghana, trade easily. They don't buy Bitcoin for the price. Some of them just want to have a way to use it. And for a lot of people right now, they receive remittances using Bitcoin, and they don't touch Bitcoin, right? So the person from the US or the UK or anywhere sends Bitcoin, and they just receive the money in their bank account or their mobile money. They don't really care. For a lot of people who are, they just, it's a way of earning some income, right? So the way I was selling Bitcoin while I was a student is the same thing. They wake up in the morning, go on their WhatsApp status and say, hey, look, I'm buying your Bitcoin and your gift cards today. Like, you sell it to them, they go sell it to someone. Yeah, so the place of empathy is really important, that it's early on, not everyone will be as zealous as we are and all of that. So, we can't really say, okay, because you are not really, you don't understand it, you don't get it, you're dumb, or, let me not waste my time on you. There has to be a lot of empathy, right? It's like a religion. So when you look at religions, what they do is they do a lot of good things for you. They are patient with you. And before you know, you're like, I like your way of life. And then I'll go with you. So it's the same thing for a lot of us. Bitcoin is like a religion. So we have to play the same way. Yeah. You have to see Bitcoin.
We just got to embrace it, man.
In their life. Yeah.
I mean, if we embrace it in the U.S., though, that means we get tax break, right? Is that?
Yeah, there's.
Oh, sorry.
There's been a lot. Yeah, I know, Bernard. We were talking on Clubhouse the other day. I was like, "What's the tax situation like in Nigeria for Bitcoin?" And you're just like, "Nah, that doesn't happen. We can just use Bitcoin however we want."
Yeah.
We can only really hold it. The tax incentives here are, definitely incentivize hodling, which is it's okay because hodling is good and helps drive up price and adoption. Therefore, but at some point we've got to get rid of these taxes because this is money and we want to spend it. It's going to probably be a little while, which is why. And if the U.S. doesn't realize this and embrace Bitcoin, then we're going to lose out in this country on, having the largest Bitcoin based companies in the world. We had the same chance with the internet to overregulate it. We took the United States took kind of a stood back and let innovation happen. And the biggest internet companies in the world are here in the US. I hope that they listen to that kind of reason, but part of embracing Bitcoin will be getting rid of the ridiculous tax situation where you have to pay 15% if it's long-term capital gains tax. And if it's short-term, if you sell within a year of buying it, you've got to pay your income tax rate, which is, 25, 30, 35%. That's why would you sell,
Brady, I got two things.
Yeah. And it's not just on selling the Bitcoin back for fiat. It's if you buy it, if you trade it for anything else. So if I use it to buy a car or a house, I still owe those taxes. So it's
that's not good.
Bernard is like, America sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
No. That would be like if we had that here, we won't adopt it. It won't be the adoption won't be that much. Yeah.
Exactly.
If we had similar things, so they need to relax.
Yes.
Well, two things though.
Swan and chill. Need to swan and chill.
The irony of the fact that us having to pay taxes actually incentivizes behavior that the government probably doesn't like. We're hoarding Bitcoin, although I don't think hoarding is a bad word. It's not a bad word, but the taxes are incentivizing that, which I think is kind of funny in retrospect. And two, I need to give a shout out to Shot 256 for probably the wittiest thing I've heard all day. I'm loving this. Bitcoin is a religion. There's a New Testament every 10 minutes.
Good one.
Very awesome.
That was a good one.
That's some good shit, man.
Oh man, 56 and tag me or something. That's awesome.
There's some good stuff. It's the handle is @SavedBySatoshi on Twitter, the Church of Satoshi. So go back through that handle's profile, and there's some really good stuff. We've talked about it on Citizen Bitcoin podcast with Gigi and Haas about Bitcoin as a religion. There's been some good writing about it. And Joe Weisenthal, who's a financial writer here in the United States in a relatively prominent, financial business publication, wrote a piece earlier this week about making fun of Bitcoin as a religion, right? So he was just totally bashing it because, hey, look at this. It has all of these similarities with religions. And half the comments were oh, that's a bad take. Half the comments were yeah, exactly. When do we get our tax exemptions?
I enjoy that. He also, the one thing, Joe, if you're watching, you use one of my tweets in your tweet storm. It wasn't even that religious of a tweet. Okay,
That's true.
religious tweets.
Way more religious tweets. Do a little more homework, Joe. I'm just gonna send him an email. I've been waiting for the weekend to find some time to do it, but I'm gonna send him an email with like all of our stuff about how Bitcoin is a religion, and just be like, yes, we get it, we get it. You know, I mean, like the way he was comparing it though, like so many things are religions. Sports teams are religions. Like, you know, like people who are fanatics about certain cars are religions. You know, I mean, it's not that hard to meet those criteria. You just have to have a lot of passion and want to spread what you have found or love.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
It's
true.
more like a pagan religion, though. It's decentralized. You know, no one can tell you how to pray to Satoshi, or if you have to. You know, you can pray to the blockchain, you can pray to your ledger, you can do whatever you want.
It's a secular religion. Yeah.
Good one.
All right.
Good one.
We're
Good one.
coming up towards the end of the show, and this is where we usually do our Bitcoin pitches. That being said, we've been doing a Bitcoin pitch this entire show, so I don't even know if we need to. Should we? Should we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Has Camila done hers yet? You've done yours, haven't you?
I did, yeah. I did.
Yeah. Okay.
You did one to your mom, I think, and clearly it was successful, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been pitching this to my whole family. I've started to send a lot of, we use WhatsApp a lot, just sending random Bitcoin to family members in Colombia, like, hey, you should check this out. Hey, read this book. Hey, do this. And Uncle has been like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I'll be following up with him. But I touched on this in another conversation I had. So my mom and I we're immigrants. I came to this country when I was 6. She was a very young mom. So it was a lot of sacrifice having to leave our family behind, basically looking for better opportunities, right? And so you come from another country to come to America because you're in search of that American dream that everyone talks about. And so I've been super blessed with my whole journey here in America. I can't complain really. But when you become an adult and you think about, well, personally, me thinking about like, okay, I want to get married, I want to build a family, I want to have kids, like that's the kind of plan I want in life. But then when you look at your bank account and you're like, how am I even going to make this happen? Like, if I want to have kids, I want to be able to provide for them and to give them a better life than what I've had. So it's like the current system right now it's like completely contrary to that plan. So when I found out more about Bitcoin, and I was like, holy crap, like this is the generational wealth thing that we're talking about, something that I can pass along to my kids. That to me was like the selling point, especially since I'm recently married and my husband is the one that introduced me to all of this. I was like, are you kidding me? We have to go all in. Like this is the most amazing opportunity ever. And so the reason that like me finding this out and then me looking back at all of the sacrifices my family has had to make, right, to get to the point where we are today here in this country, like the conversations I have with my mom are very sincere. And it's like, you have given me so much, like a completely brand new opportunity of life, that this is a way of me giving back to you. So
damn, this episode has been a tearjerker, man. So heartfelt.
Yeah.
Oh, Bitcoin. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling all the vibes over here. I love it, man.
yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one, Camila. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I gotta go get some to wipe my eyes.
Me too.
I got mine out when I was reading Bernard's blog earlier today, so it's I made sure to get it all out before the show. But
That's not fair. You should have shown that to us before the show also.
Bernard, do you have anything else that, or Brady, that might make Camila tear up even more? What do you got?
No, really. So
I'm
me,
just trying not to cry.
yeah, it's not. So this isn't entirely. This isn't emotional. It's just thinking of Bitcoin. Something I've discovered recently. Over the years, the way we think about Bitcoin keeps evolving, right? So early in the day, like 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, we thought of Bitcoin as fast, instant, cheap payments, right? But then coming in right now, the somehow not a consensus, but what everyone is thinking, mostly are thinking about is thinking about Bitcoin as digital gold, right? Or digital real estate, or just as property, right? Not really even as money, like per se, just yeah, gold, store of value, and all of that. Yeah, but for a lot of people who hear about Bitcoin, the question they always ask is, how do I invest in Bitcoin? How do I invest in Bitcoin? So sometimes I wonder, like, what if we talk to people, from the angle of savings, right? So, for example, what Swan is doing is it's like savings. You have a savings account where every month you just keep some money aside and all of that, right? I'm not really thinking of it as an investment, but you're saving for the long term. Like, I'm thinking, what if we talk to people and come from the savings angle? Now, thinking of it from the savings angle makes them think about it, in the long term. So for a lot of people, when they think about investment, they just think of, hey, how can I put this and get this ROI in this period, in this span of time, right? So how do I invest in this and get 10% in a year, something like that, right? But when you're saving, you're not really thinking of how much will I get back on this. You're thinking of, okay, I'm going to save this, and then on a rainy day, I can just take something off it. So now it becomes more of a long-term thinking. Like, you think of it more long-term. So I'm just wondering, like, what if we talk to people about it that way? Because DCA is more of thinking of around saving, not really investment, right? So if you're thinking of investment, most times it may be just a one-time lump purchase, and then you wait for it to appreciate or something like that. But if you are saving, you save periodically, right? So buying Bitcoins using DCA is also a form of saving. So it's like, yeah, how do we talk to more people to look at it more as a savings than just investment? So that's something I've been thinking about lately. On how we are thinking about Bitcoin and how we think about it going into the future.
It's a hard one. It's a good question too. Somebody had a tweet today, I can't remember who it was, where they were talking about profits and how, too many people are thinking about, when to take profits in Bitcoin, when really you should be turning your profits into Bitcoin, but still, how do you get people to kind of make that mental switch? And I don't know, maybe, you have to touch the stove and get burned. You have to watch your savings dry up because of inflation. I don't know. You can explain it to people, but it's to get them to really understand is.
So there was a tweet by Optimist Fields on Twitter. He's an account I've followed for a long time. He also is a co-host of Bitcoin Kindergarten, which is a fun podcast. He had this great tweet a couple weeks ago. Came for the profits, stayed for the profits. But it's a homonym, right? PROFITS, PROPHETS. Yeah. Came for the profits, stayed for the profits. So that gets back to our religious idea, but that's it in a nutshell, man.
I like that.
Yeah. One of those things. I think I tweeted earlier.
Say again?
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, I said I tweeted something earlier just before the show. So I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, hey, look, the Bitcoin you're buying right now is for your kids, right? For the future generation. Look, find your own wealth. Yeah, you're not going to live off your Bitcoin wealth. It's for your kids, right? So you think about it, maybe your parents were not able to get stock for you before, or property, or all of that, but you're trying to write things for your own generation. So the Bitcoin you're getting now, just think about it long term. It's not yours, it's for your kids. Like, you're just a custodian, right? So do the right thing, get some for them, right? And then when they come, you at least set them up in life. And the inequality gap that we're talking of closing might not happen in our own generation. It might be our own kids, right? So you have to also think about it that way. Like, if you're thinking about it as a short-term thing, then it might not work. And think about it long-term, that, okay, my kid can use the Bitcoin that I bought for $10 today, and maybe it's worth $100,000, in the next 50 years or something like that. just put like a Javier or something like that without having to stress on. So yeah.
So Bernard, do you have a Lambo yet?
No.
I hate Lambos,
No.
man. I hate Lambos, and I hate that. And I hate that meme too.
Yeah.
The Lambo boys, like the Lambo kids are gone. They're gone. They came 2017 and they're gone. They were wiped out.
There's going to be a lot of Bitcoiners buying Lambos in the next year. So
I hope not.
Yeah.
There will be, unfortunately.
It reminds me, there's I made this meme ages ago. I basically took like a watch ad and I repurposed it, but I love their campaign. It's company Patek Philippe, and it's the way I've changed is you never actually own a Bitcoin. You merely look after it for the next generation.
Good.
I just think it's fantastic. It's a great way to think of it.
Sure.
All right, Brady. I think we're not doing the standard fun pitches today. I think we've ruled them out. So,
all right.
Closing words from Citizen Bitcoin.
Well, tune in next Friday. The episode with Bernard will drop. He and I are going to have a one-on-one, and we're going to go deep. I can tell it's going to be a lot of fun. Camilla's going to be on at some point, and that'll be a lot of fun too. Maybe the next week. I'll just line up my shows for the next couple of weeks right now. Yeah, this has been a fantastic show. I really learned a lot listening to Bernard and Camila, just like really inspired. And like I wake up every morning absolutely inspired to work on Bitcoin. I feel blessed to be able to do this all day, every day. And it makes me just even more inspired to do this work. When I listen to these kinds of stories, it's easy to sort of get caught in our little Western bubble and, watch number go up and get really excited about our long-term savings, et cetera. But Bitcoin is so much more than number go up. It's so much more than just a store of value. It's so much more than that. It is really revolutionizing money. It's taking money back for the people from a very small number of people, taking it back from the central bankers, democratizing money, allowing us to regain privacy in a world where central bank digital currencies were about to, and they're still going to try to take away any private transactions whatsoever. The end of cash. We have digital cash now. That's really important for privacy. So there's so many things that Bitcoin does for us and are super important. And I think it's great for us to help remember that with stories that we've heard today. So appreciate you all.
Heck yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Finally, to close out, go to Bernard's website again, read his blog, do some crying. There's some really motivational there.
More crying.
And
Fun.
too. And shout out to Javier, who
This was fun.
dealing with his internet problems, and to King Peter of Bedford. Thank you for joining us earlier. To all the folks at home, we love you very much. Keep stacking sats. Stay humble. I'm sorry, Matt Odell, but I'm stealing it. It's too good. Stay Swanish. Keep
Swanish.
on. And we'll see you all next time.